Raider Nation, welcome back to the channel, guys. We are so close from the first preseason game of the year, just in a few days from now, and we will be covering that. But in this video, we have to cover another day of training camp practice, which, yes, it means we have more news, notes, a little bit more highlights, but more observations from the day. Now, I do want to let you guys know that in this video, we don't have too much more highlights. The reason being is the media members in Las Vegas are not able to show too much of practice at this point, because then other teams are going to be able to see it. They'll be able to study their film from practice, and they don't want that. So unfortunately, what we have to work with is some warm-up highlights as well as some other days highlights as well. So keep in mind, when you're watching this video, it's not all going to be new highlights, but what it is going to be is new news and observations. Before we jump into the video though and break down the news and notes, make sure you guys do me a favor and go follow those reporters, because they work so hard each and every single day to, one, keep us updated with practice, but also post the highlights that they can. I guarantee you, you will not regret following them. And you know, sometimes it feels like I'm at practice because of how much they cover the Raiders. So go check them out on X. You'll be able to see their ads to the top left of your screen. And with that being said, let's talk about the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, one guy who is coming off the PUP list and actually practiced for the first time today, Jalen Guyton. Now, this is relatively big news for the Raiders because, as we all know, or we should know, that Michael Gallup has decided to retire from the NFL, leaving the Raiders in a little bit of a interesting position, right? You have your top three in Jakobi Meyers. You have Davante Adams, who is not at practice because he is supposed to have a baby anytime soon. I don't think it's happened yet, but will happen soon. Then you have Trey Tucker as well, right? But from there, it gets a little bit dicey. You have DJ Turner, who's been here for a couple of years. You have Christian Wilkerson, who's been here, Keelan Doss, Alec Bachman, Tyreek McAllister, Jeff Foreman, who also suffered a really bad injury in today's practice, and no contact injury, air casted. I don't know the severity of it right now, but doesn't look great. And then you have Jalen Guyton. So Jalen Guyton is, presumably working for that number 4 job on this football team, and maybe could even make a move for the number 3 job. We're gonna have to wait and see how he does, but he is indeed back on the football field. Now, Antonio Pierce before practice didn't specifically talk about who the starter was going to be in terms of the quarterback position, but he did mention Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. They were going to play legitimate snaps during game 1 of the preseason, which is Saturday versus the Vikings. I will be live streaming that game, by the way, on my Twitch. So if you guys want to come watch it, you guys can find the link in the description, or you can search it up with Matty Dubs with 3 S's. Cannot wait to see that game. But we also had some other guys really start to break out in today's training camp. And one of the guys specifically was Christian Wilkerson, as well as a couple of other wide receivers as well. But I wanted to start off talking about a rookie safety, Trey Taylor, man. He has been slowly working his way up the depth chart here. He is working with the 3s and the 4s, but today made some really big-time pass breakups, was just everywhere at once, man. This is a guy who they drafted in the 7th round with a ton of confidence that he could develop into a really good player for them down the line. And yeah, he's developing at a very fast rate. I don't think he'll be, obviously he's not going to be a day 1 starter right away, but this is a guy that could really make some noise over the next few seasons, even in the preseason this year. Now also, we have a couple of wide receivers that I wanted to get into. One being Christian Wilkerson. Had a couple of interesting plays today. We also saw Myers and Mayer come up big in one-on-one drills. Listen, we know this dude Brock Bowers is going to be a difference maker, right? I mean, the catch radius is unreal, right? He's too big if you put a linebacker or a safety on him. He's too quick if you put a linebacker on him. And if you put a DB on him, he's just too athletic. He's too... he dominates them with his size, his jumping ability. This dude's going to be a freak, and he is showing that in one-on-ones. Jakobi Meyers is taking the majority of the number 1 wide receiver snaps with Davante, with his, or about to have his baby, so he's not been there. We also saw Thayer Muford back with the first team at right tackle, for the first couple of portions of today's practice. Max worked him a couple of times. You know, Max Crosby looks like he's about to be the defensive player of the year this year. I mean, this dude is insane. He's lining up on both sides of the field, right side, left side, and going up against anybody they put in front of him and doing a really good job at it as well. Another guy to really pay attention to, actually, before we get any further into the video, make sure you guys do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, join the family. It is free. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe, and we will be covering the Raiders throughout the entirety of the offseason. Every single practice, we got you guys covered. I already told you about the preseason games live streaming on my Twitch. You can easily go check that out right now. Link will be in the description. And also, we're going to be breaking down film of games, preseason, regular season on this channel, looking at the all 22 coaches film, making sure that you guys are kept up to date with everything going forward. So join the family if you haven't. Another guy to keep your eye on is UDFA, Ramel Keyton. This is a guy who's already garnering some second-team reps. I believe he was on Tennessee, and he got a big-time touchdown during today's practice from Aiden O'Connell, which was huge. We had Max Crosby blowing up a couple of plays, including a sack on Gardner Minshew, obviously not running or not, you know, actually bringing him to the ground or anything like that, not even touching him. But, you know, Max continues to dominate practice. Minshew has been very, you know, I wouldn't say Minshew's been bad, but I would just say this defense just looks really, really good. Also, keep in mind, Jackson Powers Johnson, PUP. Colton Miller, PUP. Two of the best offensive linemen on the team, just not practicing yet. Jack Jones is doing a really good job on kickoff. I mean, they're really utilizing him as someone who can just get down the field and make some big-time tackles. So that's good to see. We talked about Jeff Foreman. That was a big part of today's practice. Wilkerson had a really good catch near the sideline. Then Trey Tucker snagged the pass up the sideline, got his feet in bounds. So, listen, I would say that this team is slowly getting better and better as time goes on. Need to see the offense continue to get better, right? I mean, when you talk about the potential breakouts for them this season, I mean, you can't not bring up Brock Bowers, but also Dylan Lobby. I think Dylan Lobby is going to get a lot of action early on in the season to showcase what he can do, and I think preseason is going to be huge for him. If he's able to catch some balls in preseason, show what he can do in pass pro, this is a dude that's going to see the field a ton in year one. I'm really excited to see Aiden O'Connell in the preseason. Looks like Gardner may have a step ahead, but it's very, very close. It might even be even right now, to be honest. And then one of these wide receivers has to step up. Trey Tucker has dealt with some drop issues, is starting to get acclimated here during training camp, but who's going to be the number 4? I want to see Jalen Guyton. I want to see Christian Wilkerson. I want to see DJ Turner. There's so many guys, man, that are going to need to play well during the preseason. Now, comment down below 2 players, 1 offense and 1 defense, that you're excited to see in Saturday's game in the preseason. Let me know who you're excited to see. Like I said, offense, defense. I think offensively, Dylan Lobby and Brock Bowers if he plays. And then defensively, I'm really excited to see Trey Taylor. I think he's going to get a lot of opportunity and a lot of playing time, as well as Byron Young and Tyree Wilson as well. Those are 3. I mean, I gave you like 5, 6 guys that I'm really excited for. So you guys give me a couple and tell me why. But yeah, join the family, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. And yeah, we're going to be covering the Raiders throughout the rest of the preseason, offseason, training camp, everything. Got you guys covered. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.